Now, before we go acting too serious, we're gonna have a little fun. But first, we're gonna talk about Mercury's retrograde. And Mercury's retrograde this time is in the constellation of Virgo, and it's gonna begin, I believe, in about 25%. Don't quote me on percent. 25 degrees. And when I tell y'all approximates, when I've told y'all in the past on my Facebook page, look, I had to let something go. I'm just gonna give y'all the FYI. I had to let some go. I couldn't maintain everything that I was maintaining and still live my best life. On top of the fact that there are times where I get discouraged doing what I do. When I have in private people talking to me and asking me questions, but publicly y'all not really clicking like or commenting or supporting. So I'm just like, I'm not gonna keep giving to y'all for free. I'm not asking you to pay me nothing. It'd be nice if you donated, but I'm not asking you to pay me nothing. At the very least, you can pay the respect. And the fact that you don't, some of y'all don't do that, not some of y'all, because the people who watch me, but some folks wasn't doing that. I'm just like, oh, I'm not going to keep on feeding you. So you can get that elsewhere from scrupulable or less scrupulable places. I'm not going to keep feeding you. I have clients that, most of my clients, y'all, I'm blessed to say, come to me from word of mouth. I don't have to just be on all the time because I'm not doing it. As a matter of fact, I'm not on, ever. I'm just said, I'm like this today. I'm gonna be like this at dinner. I'm gonna be like this at church. I'm gonna be like this at a wedding. I'm gonna be like this at a funeral. It doesn't matter. This doesn't change based on environment. That's probably why I can't. I could if I really needed to, right? I can turn the filter of not cussing at work and turn the volume down, like that part. Professionalism filter, I have that. Personality filter, I do not have that. I never had that. And that would be the reason why I'm probably not working in the global professional world anymore. Even though there's a part of me that still kind of wants to, because I miss having coworkers sometimes. Anyway, so this Mercury retrograde is going to be in the constellation of Virgo. Mercury rules Virgo. Mercury is comfortable in Virgo. Mercury likes organization. I don't know if you know this. Every Mercury retrograde, every single one of them, when Mercury comes through and causes problems, it's because it's something that needs fixing. And people are just ignoring it over and over again. Oh, there's some aspect of your life that still needs some work. Maybe you need to go to a therapist for your daddy issues. Let me give you something else to give you more daddy issues until you finally see that you need to go to a therapist for your daddy issues. Stuff like that. Or your mommy issues. Whatever the case may be. And it's not gender specific. Any person can have those, right? So this is one of the reasons why I always tell my clients, look, y'all, if y'all are very new to astrology, I'm gonna tell you right now, Mercury retrograde is not a time to start in a relationship. It's also not the time to get back into one that used to be, because that's usually that lesson coming back to tell you something. It's usually trying to tell you how far you've come and that you're okay, you're good, y'all don't have to hate each other, but you don't need to be in a relationship with each other. But also too, it could be you still in the same place and not aware of it, and you need another lesson. So everything's gonna be a romantic fairy tale for a little while, and then when Mercury retrograde goes direct, things are gonna start fizzling out, and you're gonna start feeling some type of way and wondering why the world hates you, or why the universe hates you, or why God hates you. But God don't hate you. Universe don't hate you. It's you doing things that are not kind to yourself, but doing things you know didn't work before, and that's something you can just over time either avoid by knowing the different steps. Even if it's like one of my guys just said, tell him it's like the white truck, the windowless white truck with the candy sign. I got candy. A lot of times it's like that. And it don't have to necessarily just be a relationship. It can be anything. It's like, I got candy. I don't want that candy, sir. It's like, whatever you got, I don't want it. Anyway, so in that aspect of things, I was saying, I'm just feeling with my little chain. It helps with my little divergent brain. It helps me just like focus by having something to fiddle with. Anyway, in that sense, you can think of a lot of the things that are dangled in front of your face right now is the man with the candy in the van. one day I am very surprised at some stuff that is happening, but not really. Because, you know, it was always in the probabilities. That's a whole different aspect of my gifts, is that I can see probabilities in my mind's eye almost instantaneously. And that's another one of those that's a blessing and a curse. Anyway, here's one of the probabilities of things happening. Oh my goodness, my nose is starting again, y'all. Oh, sorry. It's just a thing that's gonna happen because once it starts, it starts. And I try to do everything I can because you know one of the things I thought when it first started really happening on camera, I would ignore it. And when I tell you it would take me out of focus, just ignoring it, I have to itch it. I would start the video several times until I got to a space where I'm like, okay, we're good swap the time where my nose didn't itch or my forehead didn't itch in the middle of what I'm saying. And I wouldn't get the information as clear. So I just deal with the itching now. So y'all just have to bear with me. Anyway, so I'm at this point now. I'm pleasantly surprised that a lot of my clients, past, recent, and current, past, current clients, they have some Mercury retrograde and different aspects going on with them. There's somebody who will reach out suddenly and say, oh, I'm so proud of you, but you know, I had one specific, but you know, I feel like somebody jealous of you. I'm like, first of all, if I'm having a happy time right now, I'm living my best life and you can see that, why would you insert that you think somebody jealous? And you don't know who this person is, you just feel it in your bones. I can't deal with them, feel it in my spirit, negative ass people. Look, if you feel something in your spirit that's negative about me, keep it to yourself. I'm going to learn a lesson, or I'm going to thug it out, or something. Because I don't need you to inform me. One thing I can tell you, unless you ask me, I ain't going to tell you nothing like that. What if you are living your best life and I insert some negativity? That part right there is a problem. So like that part right there, don't give me none of that. And I'm not going to give you none of that. Anyway, I digressed, but it's for a purpose. There's still people out here in these streets taking advantage of folks spiritually by making them fear something and then luring them in with that, ooh, I know something negative is going to happen to you, but so here's the lure, and they reel you in. I'm like, not today, not tomorrow, not ever. I'm going to always show you where the sun at. I don't see a purpose not to do that. Prepare you in case something happens. Without telling you something will. Just saying. Anyway, let me get back on topic because I do that sometimes, y'all. Anyway. So, Mercury is comfortable in Virgo. That's great for many aspects of things. Because Mercury just comes to slap, the bum rush and jackknife everything that is just misaligned and disorganized. And Mercury's been doing a lot of Mercury in the last 2-3 years. It's finally settling down, which I love. Personally, for me, I have 5 placements in Virgo, and it's part of a gigantic stellium within my birth chart. Now, there are some folks, this part is for the folks who understand birth charts even a little bit, okay? Guys, gigantic stellium. That includes Saturn and Jupiter, as well as my North Node, and Mars. Part of my 9th, and it's all in the 9th house, conjuncting the 10th. So it's super active right now. And I'm like, I talk to myself, I parented myself. This is what I tell my babies when they come to me sometimes, when it gets past a lot of the levels of shadow work. Like, now it's time to learn to parent yourself. When you know something is out of pocket, you need to have that conversation with yourself. And that's where I'm at right now, or where I have been. When I knew it was coming, it was almost time for this Virgo energy and this Leo energy, because another thing that's in this stellium is Leo energy. It's Virgo and Leo. And Venus is retrograded in Leo. Mercury's retrograded in Virgo. And I'm just like, I know a lot of things. Astrology, I don't know everything. I'm not the master of all masters, but I know a good bit. I cheated though. I think I was born with some of this knowledge because I took to like a fish to water, and I could just see it in my mind's eye. It kind of floats in front of me like geometry. Anyway, when I knew this time was coming, I was like, I don't know if it's gonna be amazing or just wave of just lessons or upgrades or some other such craziness for myself. So whatever you have Virgo, wherever you have Leo in your birth chart, this is the area in which it's going to be highlighted. So I'll give you this subtle advice. If you're someone who's starting to get into that or trying to understand that a little bit more, see where you have Leo, see where you have Virgo, okay? And look at them from two different aspects, but understand they're both active right now. And the retrograde process is when it's being internalized and looked at to see if there's anything that needs to be deconstructed, not for it to be necessarily destroyed, but recreated in a way that's most beneficial for you as a person individually. So whatever area that is in your birth chart, and when I say area, I mean the house, because all 12 houses mean something different and do something different, okay? Now, if you'd be so inclined to want to know that, you can go ahead and know that, okay? And the more advanced learners are going to know that as this retrograde is going on, Leo and Virgo, those two constellations with the planets that are sitting there are already in a set house as they're moving through their retrograde. So that house would be an additional level of knowledge, but that's a little bit more advanced and could get a little convoluted and complicated. And I honestly don't recommend people going too deep into astrology unless they're ready to know some things. And when I say know some things, not just astrology, but you're going to start unlocking some other keys to other doors of knowledge that not every brain is equipped to handle. Just throwing it out there. Anyway, what you should expect during this retrograde that's about to be upon us. Well, Virgo actually does rule the immune health and the gut. So I would suspect collectively that we're going to have more of a highlighted picture of the collective physical health. And how do I say, and I'm trying to find and frame a way to say this without making it seem like fear-mongering, because let me tell you something. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going on and the earth is literally on fire, but we really don't have to be out here hurting each other through scare tactics for clout. And I understand that gives the claps and all that, but look, I make fun of it most of the time. It doesn't frighten me. Nothing that's going on right now frightens me. And I don't recommend it frightening you, because what if it's on your doorstep? What you gonna do? When I say it, I mean some kind of thing. Before it happens, does it benefit you to be afraid? After it happens, does it benefit you to be afraid? While it's happening. Unless there's an actual wildebeest or wild animal chasing you, does it benefit you to be afraid? No? Then go ahead and laugh at something. Or find joy in things. That's my philosophy. You ain't got to have that one. That's mine. Now, should you just, make sure we're not going to take it kind of attitude about some of the system structures that need to be torn down and be replaced or just be destroyed outright because they ain't serving nobody? Absolutely. But fear ain't part of that equation. I'm just saying though. Anyway, more of that's going to happen too. More deconstructing of layers of our system that as it is going to happen. And it's going to happen rapidly. Okay? And it's going to be well noticed. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have a crash in our economy, or the crash is clear that it's looming before the end of this retrograde. This specific retrograde is the one that I think the economy is going to get smacked. Okay. Now I know a lot of people have predicted it beforehand, and a lot of people who don't even into astrology probably say, well, we all can see, where this is headed. Now, I'm telling you concretely right now, it feels based on the astrology that is right now. The government they ain't gonna have two pennies to rub together. They keep on doing what they're doing. For example, now the economy in general is going to get a hit, an impact. Okay, both Leo and Virgo are active in their retrogrades. And the Leo one though, Venus, the energy and the excellence of love and luxury. I said that weird. Luxury and, you know, handbags and having extra and vacation and all this stuff is retrograde. Retrograde doesn't necessarily mean it's opposite day, but sometimes it do. Sometimes that's the literal thing, it's opposite day. Everything that's vacation wise and luxury and monetary gain and all these things, a lot of it's going to be turned upside down. It already is. And more of that is coming. Okay? And why am I telling you this? So if you got a vacation plan, right here, right now, I'm telling you, just be on your P's and Q's about it. Or be okay and just go with the flow if it is canceled for whatever reason. Okay? Because, like, whining about it and crying about it ain't gonna change nothing. I done learned that lesson several times. Okay? It's like wielding my own justice is the only way I've ever gotten justice in this life. Because this place ain't just. But we can be just people within our own selves and also figure out how to give ourselves our own justice. So in that sense, I'm saying literally at this particular time, I'll be definitely sitting as still as I possibly can and not doing too much. Because the thing that would propel, like Venus sitting in Leo, fan-freaking-tastic. Venus sitting in a Leo retrograde. Venus and Leo sitting in retrograde. It's a whole different animal. Okay? For some people, it ain't gonna bother you. For some people, it's gonna be perfectly fine and natural. And you're gonna see some things open up or change that you didn't think was gonna open up or change. But the majority of folks, you just gonna see things gonna be lean. Okay? For as Mercury's retrograde in Virgo, joining in on that, being super comfortable in Virgo, it'll lighten the load a little bit. But understand Virgo's energy. How Virgo's energy is usually translated is structure, organization. How many Virgos you know that when they're ready to organize something, they'll organize your whole damn house? How many are like what they call neat freaks, right? So imagine that introspectively examining itself and not doing too much, but like really examining itself and deciding, you know what? I'm gonna change everything. I'm gonna change all the structures. I'm gonna change having. Ooh, thank you. It's like imagine Virgo having a manic episode. Now, some of the ideas Virgo gonna come up with Mercury gonna come up with in the constellation of Virgo, and this retrograde is gonna be good ideas. But when you have 100 ideas flowing through you at the same time, and all of them seem like good ideas, a manic episode up against leanness or times of lean. One of those moments where you have like, I don't know, why gotta pay this bill and that bill? Now, I know a lot of people already living like that, so y'all probably chilling. But I'm saying like, yeah, it's going to be a little tight. And it's not going to be the same as the previous retrogrades. I'm going to tell you, this is my subjective opinion based on my professional identity and understanding of astrology. The previous retrogrades for the last, I'll say 3 years up until this point has been to give us the opportunity to see what was wrong. Open our eyes, awaken those who are willing to awaken. This one is like, okay, so some of y'all woke up and still doing the same shit and y'all feel some type of way about it. You really want to change your life and you really want to do things differently. You really want to fight back. You really want to do things that makes you feel most fulfilled in this life. You really want to not be this way. You really on that we're not going to take it shit. Okay, let's do all those things all at once. Let's not take our time. Let's do it now. That's the energy. So My hope is that it helps what I just said. And now I'm gonna pull out these cards and do a little quick something. Let me see if I can adjust this camera. Because look, the readings are just for fun, right? I don't even know if I'm supposed to be doing them. At this particular point, I don't. Because, again, for me, having all these Virgo placements, so at this particular time, it's been not a challenge because I've actually been going with the flow, which kind of tells me that either I got something coming, that's good, it could potentially be good or challenging, or that, I finally fully accepted my entire being. My being, let me adjust this. I accepted my being as is, and it is what it is. Okay? Ooh, excuse me. That pen just dropped off the table. So, here we go. This is a general reading for the Mercury Retrograde and and Venus Retrograde. Both of them going simultaneous. One in constellation of Leo, one in constellation of Virgo. But generally speaking, since Mercury's retrograde is coming up this Wednesday coming up, and that's August 23rd, okay? We've been in the shadow for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and now it's going to go retrograde on Wednesday. I'll say not Wednesday necessarily, probably Wednesday late, Thursday early. You're going to see something grandiose that's going to go down. That's going to let you know, yeah, this energy is hidden. Anyway, this is the reading for that. To give you any kind of additional insight, if it resonates with you, it resonates with you. I'm not doing signs, okay? And that's just my professional identity, ethical identity. I'm not here to lure you in by telling you that your sun sign is the only thing that matters. If I'm going to be a professional in this astrology world, tarot world, then I'm going to be a professional all the time, okay? Anyway, the cards I got initially, let's see. Boom. We got Leo's energy popping out the beginning. That's the sun. We got the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Cups and the Knight of Swords, okay? And those energies, the sun is Leo energy. The Nine of Swords, I'm not going to go through all the different deacons. We're just going to go with air energy with the swords, and that's Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. And with Nine of Cups was this Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And the Knight of Swords was this Aquarius, Libra, Gemini energy potentially, okay? Before I clarify anything, clarification just for people who don't know. Clarification means the additional cards that come out, you're just going to get some additional information. I know there's people who understand and know this already, but I just want to tell you and remind you, the people who are learning still or want to learn. And again, I'm going to read for your present and your future. It's still possible and probabilities. Depends on what you do presently. I think that'd be more beneficial for you anyway. But that's just my subjective opinion. But professional insight tells me that helps you a little bit more. Anyway, I will give you advisement on what you can do to aid and assist yourself. So overall, let me see. Give me a second. Let me see what I get. If I get anything. Okay, so some of y'all that might feel like it's a great idea, and this is Mercury retrograde, so that happens sometimes. So just speak your piece and always constantly bicker back and forth with people, and I wouldn't recommend that. I never recommend that during the Mercury retrograde. I'm telling you right now, and especially not with the Leo sitting there. This Leo energy sitting here on top of it. The more you argue, the more of that you're gonna get. And if you like arguing, go ahead, boo boo. But I wouldn't recommend it at all. But mostly, it feels like whomever this resonates with, you're gonna be in contemplative energy. The Nine of Swords tells me that because it's more about being cerebral about yourself. Now, some people see this as a negative card. I don't always see it in that framework. Sometimes the Nine of Swords is actually taking accountability for yourself and the actions that you've undertaken. I don't know how many times during my shadow work I was blaming other people when I wasn't taking accountability for myself. Yeah, you can see when somebody else is doing something wrong, but can you see when you did something wrong? That part. Okay? And not only that, on top of that, so it's telling me this is some of y'all gonna be on a solo mission to some soul's growth or some understanding of yourself at this time, possibly. Or maybe the collective is going to be experiencing some inner turmoil and growth, or inner turmoil through growth, or growth is going to be the result of it. Because it's Nine of Cups and Nine of Swords are both solo energies. This is a single energy. This is not somebody else going to do it for me. This is me getting my butt up and doing it for myself. And more thinking energy right here. Okay? So we're going to clarify this Nine of Swords first. Because the Leo energy is kind of obvious. Okay? And because of the other thinking energy, it's already mercurial. So we got Virgo energy representing here somehow. The Chariot. That is Cancerian, but it's typically water energy. And the Chariot is here usually when something is about to move forward. Okay? And swiftly. I would say, as soon as I was thinking it, travel. I was talking about it earlier when it comes to that traveling. Looking, somebody's traveling towards something. Whatever you're traveling towards, you're doing it by yourself. Or whatever you're repurposing in your life at this time, you're doing it by yourself. Something tells me it's scary, or there's a part of you that wish you weren't doing it by yourself. But it's something about this card right here. You see how this lady's watching over? I feel like you're not doing it by yourself, and there's some part of you that's starting to recognize you're not doing it by yourself. Well, that just gave me a little feeling. All right. Forgot to use additional decks for clarification. All right. And by the way, the Eight of Wands is fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But mostly when I see the Eight of Wands, I'm like, something's moving forward, especially with this deck. You see all that shooting energy? Boom, boom, boom. It's got an additional side message. A lot of fighting. A lot of fighting. See, not everybody's going to have access or want to have access to someone who's going to speak some messages into them of civility and patience and just being with themselves. Some people are ready to fight. Some people are ready to pop it off. And a lot of the people's going to do that right now at this time. I also see that there. Or feel that energy there. Nine of Swords, please. Okay. Eight of Wands again. So that's, yeah, it's almost like the sky, that hurt chick little, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. I don't know what that means, yeah, y'all. Or there's some part of me that knows what it means, ain't finna speak on it. Okay? Ain't finna speak on it. I've accepted what it is at this particular point. Just because I accept stuff, don't mean I like it, you know? You know, kids. But, I'm going to get some advisement for you from my rainbow deck. For you individually, at this time, what can you do? What is this advisement going to be about and on? If you're part of the group of people that actually start to have some understanding of self and decide you want to break free, I want to break free. I'm going to get advisement for those people because we can't do nothing about the fighting and the Kung Fu flag fighting and the sky falling and all the rest of the economy and all that stuff. We can't individually, unless you got a bank like that, you can't save the economy, the stock market, or none of that. That's going to drop. But what you can do for yourself individually is give yourself some semblance of peace and love and harmony within. We can talk about that. What can we give them as advisement, please? Advisement. The smart mouth responses are not appreciated. What I just heard or understood was like, you can just tell them what you need cards for. I don't need cards, I like having cards. Sometimes it helps me organize my thoughts. 3 of Cups. I heard just get vibe with a little help from my friends. So if there are people that you know that love you unconditionally, those are your people. Not you guess, but you know. Because if you want a little assistance right now, either you will trust in your own self and your access to divine energy within yourself. And when I say divine energy, I mean the part of you that is energy, that is soul, that is connected to all things. And it's starting to remember that. The 3 of Cups saying advisement is don't lock out any potential by refusing to accept at least comfort or help from those who you know love you unconditionally. That's what I feel. And the last one, leap of faith. For me, that is the Fool. Okay? And these are both water energy. It's just me. I heard that. Those are both water energy for me. So allow yourself to feel something while also staying on trend with yourself. If there's some part or aspect to you, it's like, you know what? I want a different existence for me. Without that existence impeding upon someone else's freedom to be them, what does that look like? Start with a plan. Then the idea is already planned. Start with a plan. Always start with a plan. I'm always going to advise start with a plan, child. But while you're on that path and that journey, I'm going to tell you, I've made a lot of mistakes so you don't have to. Okay? Realize that each and every human being, each and every one of us that are out there and being our unique selves, whether it is profiting us or not, because sometimes it don't profit me to be my unique self. I'm going to tell you that right now. When I say profit me, I mean outer profit. I have to have inner acceptance in order for that to profit me. And I have that inner acceptance most of the time. But understand then that in order for something to profit you internally, you must have internal acceptance. In order for it to profit you externally, you have to have external acceptance of where things are right now. But also, tell yourself the truth about who your friends really are, who your family really are. It's not necessarily about your blood, because if it's about that, then proximity is the only thing that gives you your family. Everybody is your family. Now, the ones that work well with you, the ones that love you unconditionally, like there are no conditions in which I don't love you. That's your real family. Okay? And I mean, so I don't remind y'all during this Mercury Retrograde that unconditional love does not mean unconditional acceptance of piss poor behavior. Do I need to? I hope I don't have to. Anyway, you're loved.